Today we're going to talk about Pre-Vis videos, a preliminary visualization of a prop
or an effect
or stunts.
I'm Scott Prop and Roll, and welcome back to another episode of Prop Guys Reacting to Props. I got Mark, Papi, and Matt in the back. A Pre-Vis video is a preliminary visualization that we do to show the director and the producers how something works. The prop department will do it to show the functionality of a prop. The special effects department may do it to show how a particular practical effect works. And the stunt department will do it to show off their choreography of a scene. What better way to start talking about Pre-Vis videos than to show this Return of the Jedi clip where it's the speeder bike scene?
This is a Pre-Vis video they made with models, dolls, toys on wire to get an idea of what they would be shooting, as well as effects work that was going to be going in. And this was actually made by Joe Johnston, who started as one of the effects guys at ILM with Lucas. He moved up to, by this point, I think he was an art director, but later he became a director and did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he did Captain America, the First Avenger.
This is kind of shot for shot.
Pull next to that guy.
Get alongside that one.
Lucas is kind of the king of Pre-Vis. And even in Star Wars, when they were editing, he would use World War II footage and cut that in because at the time, ILM was brand new. They were still doing effect shots and they had nothing to cut in yet.
Did you ever find the clip to that?
Well, I found something similar. A movie from 1954 called The Dam Busters that Lucas used as a storyboard for the trench scene at the end of Star Wars. And he might have lifted a few lines of dialogue too.
Look at the size of that thing.
My goodness, it's big, isn't it?
I'm gonna cut across the axis and try and draw their fire.
I'll fly across the dam as you make your run and try and draw the flag off you.
We're starting our attack run.
I'm going into attack.
How many guns do you think, all five?
Say about 20 guns. How many guns do you think there are, Trevor?
I say there's about 10 guns.
You should be able to see it by now.
I reckon you should be able to see it by now.
Wow.
It's away!
Thank you, this. It didn't go in.
We've done it!
We haven't. It's still there.
So he used that whole section of the movie as a Pre-Vis.
Basically, yeah, he just said, let's do this.
Okay, I really went down the rabbit hole for this episode. I dug deep into my camera roll, and so did Mark and Papi. I called my special effects buddies, got Pre-Vis from them. I called my stunt coordinator buddies. We got lots of good Pre-Vis to look at in this episode. Now, when we're showing a director and producer's props, we often just send photographs. But if we have to show the functionality of something or a process of using the prop, we'll shoot a Pre-Vis video. And a great example is when we had to do a 1915 dark room for the show The Sun. So here Matt is showing the entire process of a dark room. And we did it practically here for the demonstration, but we weren't really trying to pull an image because we were going to go back and digitally put in the image in post-production.
Yeah.
But you can see an image starting to come through. This was more of a proof of concept of what we could do practically. And I will say our visual effects guy on this show was one of the Star Wars visual effects guys, Terry Wendell.
Yes, that's
See,
correct.
I pulled that connection in. So we shot this video to show the director that our actor was competent and could fire and show the functionality of a 1915 Lewis gun. These were used by the British in World War I.
And that was a rental
Out of-
ISS, right?
Weapon that's been adapted to shoot blanks.
Yeah, it looks great.
So here we were testing out a horse rig for a TV show called The Sun. I'm in the back of a flatbed truck with our rig and our fake horse head.
And the rig was on what, like a spring?
It was on a thing called an equicizer.
I'm amazed they didn't use that. Put a cowboy hat on you.
Yep.
Just horsing around.
And when we're using a lot of old technology and old weaponry, we would shoot a Pre-Vis video. Here we have our reenactors with cannon.
I smell John Navarro on this.
Yeah, so our armor, John Navarro, called in his buddies that were all reenactors. So
There
there's
he
John right
is.
there.
There
We
he
were doing
is.
was it a Union soldier camp, I believe?
Yeah.
I love shooting off cannons and such.
Smells good.
Yeah.
I love to smell cannons in the morning.
Is
Duvall
that
there.
Duvall?
Yeah.
What's that? Good Morning Vietnam?
Oh, God. That was Apocalypse Now, Poppy. You were joking, right?
Sure. Yeah, you would. All right.
Oh, God.
We did a show called Nosferatu. We had a character who was an artist. She did these very specific lithograph engravings in, was it a floor tile?
Yeah, it was a linoleum floor tile, vinyl maybe. So they carved into, and then you roll the ink across it, and then you put paper. And these are like images she saw in her dreams.
We did a whole process for the director so they could see how much of it they want to actually go through on camera. So digging into my phone, I found this old clip showing Mila Kunis how to fire a weapon. Of course, with blanks, to aim at someone without aiming at someone. You go off axis, but as you see from the side view, you can't tell she's not aiming right at me.
Yeah.
And her character was actually being shot at. So I wanted her to feel comfortable and show her how safe it was. It helps to have an experienced armor on a film set.
It really helps if you follow protocol of how you deal with guns. And if you do that, you never have a problem.
Nope. So I was working on a Nike commercial where we had to launch golf balls at these kids in a golf range. Matt developed this golf ball shooter. He made that out of a mower.
Did you blow them all away?
Yeah, they were blown away by the leaf blower ball blaster.
If you need somebody to blow in balls, Matt's the guy.
So I was doing a Dr. Pepper commercial, and we had to launch a 2-liter of Canada Dry.
Wait, hold on. You were doing a Dr. Pepper commercial, and you had to shoot a bottle of Canada Dry?
I think they owned Canada Dry at the time.
You know, Scott,
And-
it sounds like you were not a pepper.
I'm not a pepper. So had to do it with a football chunker, and that reads good on paper, but it didn't exactly work. So I had to wrap the tires with ace bandage so it would.
Oh, interesting.
So it would touch.
Yeah, because those aren't adjustable.
No, they're not adjustable. Yeah, they're made for regulation footballs, not regulation 2-liter soda bottles.
You know, I don't drink soda very often, but when I do, I like me some Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is good. Hey, Matt, didn't you have a Pre-Vis you wanted to show?
Yeah, I could show something.
All right, welcome, Matt.
Oh,
Hi.
little Matt.
Welcome, Matt.
Kind of weird to have to be in the back.
So what you got for it?
I have a few clips of a commercial I was art directing, and the whole premise of it was to practically show different things coming out of a cell phone. I was just given an idea of what they wanted, and I had to kind of develop it. So what we're seeing here is cereal being poured out of a phone. Interesting part about that was learning the fluid dynamics of cereal. So the best cereal that I found was actually a rice puff, but I couldn't find any rice puffs in color. So I had to individually spray paint the different colors. If you ever have to spray paint something small, you just put it in a little bucket, spray your spray paint into the bucket and shake it at the same time and then pour it out.
So did you send the early Pre-Vis videos to the director, or were those pretty much just for you?
They wanted to see the whole process. So this gag is they wanted somebody to be eating guacamole out of their cell phone. I just took a little half plastic sphere and kind of glued it into the bottom of a cell phone case. It worked just enough to where you could put it in the palm of your hand and then conceal it with kind of the angle that they were shooting at. This one was with toothpaste.
Was it an actual tube that the person used their thumb to push?
That's right. I had a small little travel toothpaste container on the other side that you could just press with your thumb and do it kind of naturally.
The good thing about doing the Pre-Vis is it can be approved ahead of time.
And this is a toaster.
That's great.
We had two different butcher blocks, and one had a hole in it with a toaster on the bottom. The other one was just a solid board. Had a guy cut out just the shape of a toaster that fit inside of an iPhone case, and then they added the glowing effect in post.
Now we're going to see some special effects Pre-Vis videos that I got from some special effects coordinator friends of mine,
You don't have any friends.
co-workers. We got a Battle Angel Alita clip here. This is surgical table. smash. So they use kind of like a thick aluminum foil. It's what you'd buy at the grocery store, the aluminum pans for cooking brisket or a turkey. All right, special effects coordinator Everett Byram sent me this. It's a dream sequence for American Crime. And it's just really a cool sequence.
And this isn't really the Pre-Vis. This is just kind of behind the scenes of what they actually did.
They shot a Pre-Vis of it. I'm not sure if this is...
Well, you see the camera.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, you'd want to previs something like this. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, with all that choreography. That's good.
It took a second for it to register.
Great choreography. Good choreography.
Yeah, I got that.
This is another special effects previs from Everett Byram. We had an oil rig that was spewing oil. We had to shower an actor, and instead of using real oil, they used this stuff called methyl cellulose. It's typically kind of cloudy, clear, but they colored it with a burnt sugar. So it gave that kind of dark, almost blackish, but not quite look.
Is that
oil.
food safe?
It was food safe, but you don't want to eat it. All right, so special effects coordinator Bob Trevino sent me this. This is your classic previs of a motorcycle being launched into the air.
That is classic.
3, 2, 1.
Hey! And some plates for you to boot.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog.
So that's done without any explosion, so they'll add the fireworks in post-production. So no pyrotechnics involved. They just used a hydraulic air ram, I believe is what they call it. All right, now we got a clip of a door getting shot with a gun. And this is similar to the Battle Angel smacking the tabletop. They used a real thick aluminum foil type material, and they shot it with a paintball gun. They used those little resin paintballs.
Yeah. Something that not everybody knows is that effects man's favorite tool is a paintball gun.
Oh yeah, so paintball guns are used for, they have the resin like this, rubber balls that they'll use to shoot at targets.
They have the Zerkits, as they call them,
Zerkits.
which are sparks. So if they're shooting a car and there's sparks flying off of it.
And they also have dust hits. So they're just little plastic empty shells, and they'll fill them with dust. They can do different colors of dirt depending on where you're at. All right, here's another Bob clip, or Bob's crew anyway, doing a Marvel show called The Gifted. Another wonderful practical effect where you have an LED light in his palm, and then there's a tube going up his arm connected to a smoke machine. So you got ultra bright LED and smoke. This is a case of a successful test where they actually used this in the show. And another one from The Gifted, this is Mike Wilkes. What's he gonna do? Shooting spark. They didn't end up going with this. Specs was able to show the director and the producers, this is what we're capable of doing practically, but it could have had a long setup time. Sparks were easier to generate, visual effect, and save a lot of time. All right, here we have a magic coffee mug.
Wish I had that at home. That stirring, it really wears me out.
So I didn't ask Bob how he did this, but I'm assuming there's a motor inside the coffee, like a little hockey puck that is operated in remote control. It just spins. It's like a lazy Susan, and it's powered with the motor, waterproofed. Well, there's also the possibility that it's just real telekinesis. But it's lazy on, if you got telekinesis, and you still can just grab the dang spoon. You're still going through the motion.
I know. Just grab
Well,
the
that's what
dang
they're-
spoon.
That's like showing off my telekinesis.
Dang.
And last but not least, we have the stunt coordinator previs. And they're typically,
Highly produced.
stunt coordinators are often second unit director. And they have to show the director, you've got to shoot it from this angle or else you're going to tell that we're pulling punches. It's all magic.
And sometimes what will happen is on a show, if there's a lot of stunts or fights on a busy day, they'll break a camera off with a stunt coordinator, leave him or her filming that stunt or fight while main unit goes to another location to shoot a dialogue scene or whatever.
Which is why previs is so important when it comes to stunts. They show the director, these are the camera angles we're going to do, and the director needs to sign off on that. So your previses are often a lot more detailed than what effects or prompts does. So our first stunt previs is going to be from Chad Dashnaw for the show Walker. Smack, smack, pop, dip, bam, crash.
Crashing off.
Oh, Coop, what are you doing? Oh, ow, you got me in the nose.
Smash.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Oh no. I just wanted a hug. Now, this is a highly produced stunt sequence for Marvel's The Gifted. They even have special effects.
Yeah.
And here they're also demonstrating like some supernatural, like superpower type stuff.
Yeah.
So you'll see the cables and stuff.
And I would guess that this is probably, if it gets signed off on, it's helpful for visual effects because they can start working on their stuff before main unit even shoots the real version.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's another one from the Gifted stunt team. But you can see how they have to include the special effects because they play such a huge part of, the dynamics of the scene with the whole, disappearing and appearing somewhere else.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching Prop Guys reacting to Pre-Vis. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and the notification button.
Wait a minute. I have one more. Sometimes you have an idea and you have to pre-visualize it to make sure that it's not only effective, it's believable and appropriate.
Okay.
I think it speaks for itself.
Let's see it.
I know that guy.
You're in deep thought.
Hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Begasm?
Oh, yeah. Thing of beauty.
That was high bacon.
Yep.
Okay, was that the actual scene or is that just the pre-whiz?
Oh. The pre-whiz is the pre-shiz.
That's a good question for the pre-quiz.
Grab the dang spoon.